Hi, everyone. Hi. I'm Tutti. For the ones that don't know yet, I'm the one spamming emails to you on the meetup group. And today I'm going to talk about introduction to the software development world. It's an introduction. So I'm going to go to some basic concepts and then like how broad software development can be. So if you're looking into going into programming and struggling to decide what to learn first, this can give you like an overall view of it. So first of all, about me, I'm Tutti Q online. I'm from Brazil, and I major in computer engineering. And I've been working as a software engineer since 2011. And I mainly work with web, some mobile development, but basically web development. And yeah, I like dancing, cooking, and going out, because not all developers are introverts. I like socializing. So yeah, when you're starting, the first thing, like, I'm going to start learning software development. Then a bunch of questions come up in your mind, and some of those might seem very basic. Or even some would say stupid. I don't believe in stupid questions at all. No questions are stupid. So we all had those questions at some point. Like, what's a software or an app? Where can I run software? What are operating systems or platforms? And what can I do with software development? What kind of developer do I want to be? And what are programming languages and what are frameworks? And what to consider when choosing a programming language or framework to start off. So refreshing basic concepts. And that it may seem too basic, but it's easy to forget how broad things are. So first of all, like when we think about a computer, we instantly think about our laptop. Or maybe we remember that our smartphones are also a computer, but there are so many other types of computers, like servers, like smartwatches, smart TVs, or microcomputers. So this, for example, is a server. It may look like a node computer, but it's not. And this one, does anyone know what is this? Raspberry Pi, yeah, exactly. So Raspberry Pi is a microcomputer. It's this size, and it's super cheap. You can buy online. It's for learning purposes. If you want to tweak around with like microcomputers, it has like USB ports and stuff. It's a full computer. So yeah, computer, any electronic device that has a processor. And software, the programs that run in a computer. So programs that run into any of those devices are software. And then an app is just another term for a software application. So it's a software that is designed to perform a specific function. Like Microsoft Word, for example, Instagram, that kind of thing. And at the end of the day, software is just a bunch of text files that with instructions that a computer can understand. So if you're going to look into like a software, what its shape is like a bunch of folders and text files, and they have like instructions that a computer can understand, and then you have a software at the end. Not as easy as that, but like that's the general idea. Operating system is the base software that supports a computer's basic functions, like managing hardware or even managing the other software applications. So for example, we have like at our laptops, Mac OS, Windows, Linux. Those manage all the other apps that you're running into your computer. So it's the base software. And it also manages all the hardware. If you plug in a USB drive, it's the operating systems that are going to say, hey, there's a new device plugged in. So this is like operating system. And also iOS and Android, they're also operating systems for smartphones. And platform is just a generic term for a major piece of software. So operating systems can also be called platform. Okay. That all being said, what can I do with software development? And what kind of developer do I want to be? So there's so many things that you can do actually. If you go into like app/game development, that is like designed for a specific function for an end user, you have web apps, mobile apps, PC apps. Web apps the web pages that we access from the browser. So it's software as well, we're accessing it from the browser. From Safari, from Chrome. It's divided into backend and front-end. Like Jan was mentioning, backend, server side, the part of the software that runs on the server. And front-end, the part of the software that runs on the client, what we call clients, like a browser or a screen, is the user-facing part. For example, Amazon, online shopping, Gmail, Google Docs, any web games, that kind of thing. Mobile apps, the ones that you're probably most used to, the ones that you run on your smartphone. Android, iOS, example, you know a bunch of those. PC apps, the ones that we run on PCs, personal computers, or laptop, Macs, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, that kind of thing. This is getting very blurry nowadays. You already have like Photoshop for smartphones and stuff, so it's almost like the same thing. Other devices like game consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, those are also computers that also run apps. So you have Netflix for Xbox, for example, and you have like any games, they're also software. And other devices that we usually forget about, ATMs, smart TVs, smart watches, microcomputers, that's the Raspberry Pi I mentioned before. And multi-platform, that is something that you code once, and then you can export it to multiple platforms. So there are some tools that help you do that, like Cordova, Ionic, Electron, that kind of thing, where you code in one language and then you can export to several different platforms. And other types of programming. So like, obviously, I'm not saying those things for you to memorize. It's just to give you like an overview of all the types of development that there are. So it's really, really broad, but don't worry about memorizing any of this. So yeah, there's infrastructure, or what we call DevOps, that is server configuration, performance monitoring, continuous integration, that kind of thing that you do on the back that no one really sees, but still has to be done and involves a lot of programming. Data analysis, when you grab like a whole bunch of data and you transform into meaningful information, that's one kind of programming as well. Data science, AI, machine learning. So algorithms that are built to learn and adapt over data, this is another kind of programming. Yeah. It's my choice, quotes on that, because I just started on web development when I was out of college, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but now I like it, so I was lucky. That's my path over there. Programming languages, libraries, and frameworks. So programming languages you might be familiar with, like those things that you go and type, the instructions that you need. Something like Java, Ruby, Python, JavaScript, and then frameworks or libraries. What exactly is a library or a framework? It's basically an extension pack for the language. So you're writing in a language, but this language doesn't have everything that you need. Sometimes it doesn't have all the mathematical formulas that you need, or it doesn't have the methods that you need to show things on the screen, or to do some animation. So you need to import extension packs into your language so you can build exactly what you need. And then these extension packs are called libraries. And then when it's a very big one that also offers like a set of rules on how you should build your software, then we call it a framework. When it's basically a big and opinionated library. That is basically what a framework is. And some examples, well, we have more of that on the next page. So this is just a bunch of examples of programming languages and frameworks for those programming languages. Again, you're not supposed to memorize all of this, but as you're going into it and you start learning a tool, you start seeing all those names. And then you might get like overwhelmed, like are all those, like all programming languages? Like, do I need to learn everything? Of course not. Usually, you're gonna like choose one, Java, and then you're gonna choose one framework if you want to do something big with Java, and then you're gonna go with this pair. You don't have to learn anything else, but it's just good to know that they exist. So yeah, those are some examples. There are many more than that. And then other languages or file formats that we call, that are not exactly programming languages, but they're formats, how you format a file to output data or a template. For example, HTML or XML, that's kind of like this, or JSON is like key and value type of format. Those are other file formats that you're going to see when you're programming the software. They're useful to transfer data around from one place to another. You put in a file in this format, or you put in an object in this format, and then you pass it around. And for styling, there's CSS, is the most common one. To put your colors and borders, shadows, that kind of thing on your pages. What to consider when choosing a programming language or framework? There's some points to think about. Obviously, if you're just playing around and learning something for fun, you don't have to consider basically none of that. But if you're building software, like professionally or inside a company, you do have to think about those when choosing. And the most important one is this one. That is like, is it appropriate and useful for what I want to develop? Is it commonly used for similar purposes? And does it have the libraries, helpers, and tools that will help me achieve what I want? So some languages are more commonly used for one thing, some languages are more commonly used for other things. For example, Ruby is very used for web development because it has the Rails framework that is very popular to build web pages and it's very helpful. While Python is very famous to develop machine learning algorithms because it already has all the libraries to do machine learning kind of code. So those kind of things is interesting to research about the language you're choosing. But overall, you can basically use anything to do anything. Just choose whatever is most appropriate. And other things to consider: learning curve, how much effort do you want to put in, the age of the language or the framework. Is it obsolete yet? Has it been new languages that are kind of replace it? Does it solve modern problems? How mature it is in terms of like updates, because sometimes some languages or frameworks are updated too frequently in the beginning until they get a stable version. And is it valuable in the market? This is more of a career choice. Research how valuable learning it could be for a career. And just some final considerations about the industry or the profession or the community is after you learn your first programming language and the first tools, it gets way easier because all the others are kind of similar. I mean, they share a lot of concepts. They share a lot of terms that you already know from the first one. So it's way easier to learn your second programming language. Don't get scared thinking that you're going to have like this much trouble after learning the first one. It's not. It's going to be easier. Don't let technical jargon scare you. There's so many concepts that you probably already know. There are like common concepts. But then when you go into software development, we put a lot of words into there that you've never seen before. Don't let them scare you. Beware of opinions being presented as rules or the right way to do things. There are better ways to do things, yes. There are a bunch of patterns and standards that you should follow for better code, yes. But there are also a lot of things that are very subjective on which library is better for what. So take it with a grain of salt when you see someone saying, yeah, this is the best way to do. If you do other way, it's wrong. Sometimes, not always. And yeah, software development, as we saw, is insanely broad. Don't worry about having to know everything. You don't have to. Just keep learning. And don't worry if you Google everything all the time. Everyone does that. I still do that all the time. I forget the syntax of stuff all the time. And I have to check Google or Stack Overflow for things that anyone would say, this is so basic. Yeah, but I don't remember. So you're not the only one. Don't worry about it. If you hear something like a true software developer, just ignore whatever comes next. There's no true developer. There is different types of developers. And every type deserves respect. Let's just respect our differences. and support each other in C software development.